Marcus, I'm a big fan of Shark Tank Fridays. You know what they are? I'll let you run with that.
Uh, well, I think about the series Shark Tank and then basically Fridays. So we are talking about work. Uh, Um, can you give me a little hint?
So, at a firm I used to work at in the US, we used to have a session. Everyone would get in a room on a Friday afternoon.
All right.
Someone was struggling with a job or got a design they wanted to develop. They put the drawing on the wall, and everyone would Shark Tank them, i.e., like beast them. This is wrong. That's wrong. Do this better. That better. And what came out of that was a learning experience for everyone. So you were
Yep.
pooling ideas, and then the next iteration of that drawing was so much better.
Oh, well, as soon as you said basically drawing up Friday and then basically get in the room. Yeah, 100%. Been part of those in the past. A couple different companies. I love them. I salute any company that still does that or remember brown bags, you know what I mean? Like problem days that you remember brown bags, you bring
Yeah,
your food in a brown bag and everybody sits around for an hour and a half. And you talk
yeah.
about, it could be mechanical, electrical, plumbing one day, architecture, it could be whatever. But I say this all the time at every firm I'm at, and I'm always like, you know, why don't we put this up there? For me with commissioning, design reviews, I'm always like basically saying like, here's the piece of equipment. And they're like, well, what do you look for? I'm like, I look 10 feet to the left, 10 feet to the right, 10 above, 10 below. And when someone like, because everyone's like startup, man, I go back to the beginning, back to the original designs, back to basically the layout. And it's just like, okay, you need a motor, you need a pad, you need this, where are you going to run through it? Is it class this? I mean, you have to look at it, and there are, remember, air, water comes in, moves out, gains pressure, loses pressure, go to something else, some control piece comes in, input, output. I know I'm making it simple here, but it's really that easy. It's just like it has a purpose. It must have a purpose, right? So when you do have the Shark Tank Fridays, or you do basically have the brown bags or whatever they are, like people look at it and go, I didn't think about that. I didn't think. The one thing they're not thinking about, a lot of the young engineers and architects, is like they're focusing here, or someone's like, give me a duck run, or give me this, or give me that. They're not taking all these pieces and going, they all work together. So that's why I tell people all the time, like in big companies, I'm like, can I have a young engineer and young architect, building science or whatever? I go, can I take them in the field? I go, and for 6 months, maybe 10 hours a week or something like that. And of course, then I have to figure out how to budget it,
Yeah.
because I want to basically blow a job's budget by basically training, but the thing about it is, imagine if you took them out there and you actually showed what bad design was, then they would know what good design was.
Yeah.
Whenever you take an engineer into the field and you start going, look at this, they start going, that's what that looks like on paper. That's what it looks like in the world. And then like their whole brain goes, ah. So
Yeah.
yes.
So this is what we're really talking about here is learning through experience and then pooling the experience, right? Getting everyone in a room and pooling their experience and knowledge. This is a knowledge management issue we're talking about here, right? How do you transfer knowledge of the group into the person?
But you also give all the junior folks, give them full cart, like talk.
Yeah.
Like, like my classes, talk, 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 talk,
Yeah.
talk. Like, and then you have like the gurus sitting back here, like Yodas and like, the Grogus. And so they're not gonna be like, that was a dumb question. There's no dumb questions.
Yeah.
Ask questions, and everybody should be talking back and forth. That knowledge, the succession, like we are talking about before, and the knowledge should basically have a conduit. It should be passed in these open studios. It should be an exchange. Like knowledge should be like, in the air. Exactly like Neo, right? It's just ones and zeros. It should be passing back and forth. And these people should be like, oh my God, I had such a great day.
This is the issue our industry, this is one of the perennial issues our industry struggles with, is knowledge management, passing knowledge on, training people.
Totally.
This is something most firms really suck at because everyone's busy, right? And then you think, okay, so maybe the associations and organizations will do that, but then it's a money thing, right? It's really tough. We're not really good at it at all.
Well, we're trying to engross, or indoctrinate, I guess you could say, all the students, and that's what I've been involved with forever. That's why it's just, you have to bring them in. you have to, I mean, in my opinion, if you ever have like an organization, you have a, an hour and a half dinner or something like that, I would, we always go around and other places, introduce yourself. But I mean, it should be a 15 or 20 minute like student talk. They should have the table. They should sit with people. Everybody should be engaging them, not because they're looking for a job or they're looking for people. It needs to be more of a concerted effort for architects and engineers and project managers and construction managers to just grab on to those interns and grab on to those, not just to basically for retention to keep them at your work, because we need that too, but just like the transfer, you have to be in this business to not only basically make money and basically help people, but pass it on.
This is a question, right? If there was such a job as chief knowledge manager, and there's not, but if there was, the job would be this. How do you get the knowledge and experience out of the older people's brains into the younger people's brains, right? That's the challenge.
Well, I'll tell you something right now. So this is my philosophy, and I've said this many of times. The higher you get in a company, this is just me. One day, if I ever get to, higher levels, vice president, senior vice president, and I'm doing less work, right? So that means I'm not billable. So my job, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I will be the guy that walks around and says, you like coffee? I'm gonna get you a French press. You like French press? Like, how's your chair? I'm gonna get you a new chair. How are your shoes? I'm gonna get you a new pair of shoes. Can I go get you some tea? Because I'm sorry, because I'm not actually billable anymore. I'm basically just overhead. But my job is to basically inspire you to be the best. Because when a big person, in a company walks over to someone, they're like, how you doing? You're like, oh my God,
am I getting fired?
Like they just light up. And then when they basically go, I just, you know what I mean? It's just one of those things where like just the light goes on and they're like, so-and-so talk to me, right? And then 5 years, they're gonna be like, who cares? But at that moment, to feel like the boss's boss knows your name, knows who you are, like gave you a compliment, gave you a piece of advice, like that is a nugget that you will always have for the rest of your life. And that is something I think that has been lost a little bit and needs to be brought out.
Yeah, agreed, 100%.
That's the kind of leader I want to become.